Hello again, and thanks again for tuning in to another Slightly Redneck video. Again, Thanksgiving Day today. I've got the turkey just starting in the oven, so it's time to start making the gravy, or at least the stock for the gravy. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is just showing you how to make giblet gravy. Hundreds of ways you can do this. Everybody has their own recipe for it. This is a pretty simple recipe for making giblet gravy, very easy to do, and it turns out really good results. So thought I'd just show it to you and show you how it works. So first thing we're going to start with is, well, let me get the camera over here and organize and we'll show you. Okay, this is what I'm going to start with to make the gravy. Basically, I've got an onion, about half an onion actually. You could put a whole onion in, but I don't think I need it. I'm just going to use half of one. I've got a stalk of celery, just roughly chopped. You can leave the leaves on it. You don't need to worry about taking those off. In fact, leave them on there. Same thing, a carrot. You can take the top off if you want, or you can leave it on. It doesn't matter. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to make stock right here. So you're not going to be eating those vegetables. You'll strain them out. And I got a handful of garlic here that's just been kind of smashed a little bit so it gives some flavor out. So got the turkey neck here, and then we've got the giblet bag, which is the liver and the gizzards and whatnot in here. So that stuff's not going to take nearly as long to cook, especially the liver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the turkey neck, I'm going to put it in a big stock pot or a big bowl, you know, pretty good size, not bowl, but pretty good size saucepan here. And then I'm just going to add my onion, my carrot, my celery, and my garlic. Throw all that stuff in a bowl, in a pot. I'm going to open up the giblet bag here. I'll show you what we're working with. There we go. Come on, open. There we go. So there's the liver. The liver I want to save out because it's not going to take very long. I'll go ahead and throw the other stuff in, the gizzard, the heart. All that stuff goes in the pot. I'm going to save the liver, put it back in the fridge in a Ziploc bag, and the last, about half hour, I'm going to put this back in. I'm going to go ahead and let it cook all the way through. So, next thing I'm going to do is just cover this with water. Let me get that covered with water and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Alright, so here we go. Got my turkey neck, my gizzard, everything but the liver basically. The onions, celery, carrots, and what else did I put in there? Oh, garlic. So all that stuff's going to go on the stove, and I'm going to let it simmer for about an hour, hour and a half probably, to get a good stock built up here. So it's good to do this first thing in the morning. You can do it the night before if you want to. Cook all this stuff up and just save your liquid. Do not throw the liquid out when you're done. So let me get this started and we'll come back and show you kind of what the next step is. Alright, well this has been simmering for about an hour, so it's getting pretty close. What I'm going to do is go ahead and add the liver in now, and then I'll just simmer that for another half an hour. Let that liver make sure it gets good and cooked, and then I'll come back here and I'll show you kind of the next step that we do. One thing I do want to mention while we're looking at this is make sure that this is a good simmer. You can probably see it bubbling a little bit back there, but not a full rolling boil. I mean, you get this thing up to a rolling boil and you're gonna boil away all your water. So anyway, let that cook for about half an hour and it should be done, and then I'll come back and I'll show you kind of the next steps and what we do. Alright, so this has been boiling for another half an hour, the liver's done. So what I'm going to do is just take the neck, set it on this plate here, and then I'm going to find the liver, save it as well. Sometimes you got to dig for it. There it is. Oh, lost it. That's only part of it. There's another part in there somewhere, but I'll find it. The rest of the stuff, strain it out, but save your liquid. You're going to discard, oh, there it is. There's the other part of that liver. Discard everything else, but save your liquid. Don't let it go to waste. So I'm just going to use a strainer and just pour it through a strainer into a bowl to save the liquid and get all the vegetable pieces and all that out of it. And then once that's all done, all you're going to do is wait for the neck and the liver to cool down, and I'll come back and show you what we do with those. Alright, so I've got my turkey neck here. It's cooled down. I can handle it. My liver. I've got the strained out liquid that I saved. Strained all the vegetables and all that kind of stuff out and discarded those. So now all I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and chop up this liver. If you don't like to add the liver to the gravy, then you can skip it if you want to. I think it's fantastic, but if you are going to add it to it, you need to chop it pretty thin. It can be a very strong flavor, so you want to dice it up in nice small pieces. So it's going to take me a few minutes to do this, and you don't necessarily need to watch me. So let me get it all chopped up, and then I'll come back on camera and show you the next step. Alright, so I've got the liver all chopped up, and next I'm going to start working on this turkey neck. And really the easiest way, you can get a fork and dig in there, but just pull it off there. Make sure your hands are clean. Pull it off there, shred it up a little bit. It's little pieces, and get all the meat that you can off there. This is a messy job, so you're going to want to wash your hands real good afterwards. But let me get all this meat pulled and the bones separated, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so I've got that the neck all cleaned up. I got all the meat off the neck, the liver's chopped there. These are the extra bones. You get little pieces of bone that come out of there, kind of breaks up in pieces. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just take all this and add it back to my stock or my sauce pot with all my broth still left in there. And really that's it. Set this to the side until the turkey's done, because there's nothing more to do with it until we get the drippings out of the bottom of the pan. So when the turkey finishes up and comes time for me to get the drippings, I'll come back and I'll show you what we do from that point on. So. Alright, so the turkey's done, so what I need to do for the gravy now is get all these drippings and stuff out of the bottom of this pan. So what I'm going to do is just kind of ladle them through a strainer, strain out all the vegetables, because we don't need those in our gravy. And let me get all this strained off here, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, so once you get your drippings strained, you're going to be left with something that looks like this. I'm not completely done straining them all out, but this gives you an idea. Below is the broth that you want to save. Above is the fat. Now, I want to skim a lot of this fat off because I don't need it. It'll make your gravy come out greasy if you have too much fat in there. Don't be paranoid about getting every little drop of fat out of there, but you do want to skim quite a bit of it off. And that's pretty easy to do. All you need to do is get a ladle, a large spoon. Basically just dip it down in there. It'll fill up with fat. Pour it off. If you have a gravy separator, it makes it even easier. So let me get all this fat separated and get the rest of the drippings out of the pan, and then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do with everything. Okay, once you've got most, if not, you can see almost all the fat's gone off there. So get most of the fat off of that. Then basically just take the drippings that you pulled out of the pan and skimmed off, pour them into your sauce pot with all your other broth and liver chopped up and your neck meat. I'm actually going to get a little bit more drippings out of the pan. I've only got a 2-cup measuring cup, and you should be able to get about 2.5 cups worth of drippings. If you need to add a little bit of chicken broth, you can to make it 2.5 cups, and that works just fine. But that's pretty much it at this point. And then we're just going to heat this up, get it boiling, get it going good, mix up a cornstarch slurry and thicken it. And I'll show you how we do that here in just a few minutes. Alright, so I've returned this to the stove with all my pan drippings and all the, everything we've created so far. What I've done is mixed up a cornstarch slurry here. It's equal parts water and cornstarch, probably about almost a cup total. So about 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1/2 cup of water, and stir that together. And then I'm just going to pour that into my gravy, bring it up to a boil first, pour that into my gravy and stir it in, and that will thicken that up for me. I'm going to let that come back to a boil real quick. I'll stir that until it comes to a boil. then once it gets to a boil, it's pretty much done at that point. If it's not quite thick enough, you can mix up a little bit more cornstarch and water and stir that in. The same thing, bring it up to a boil. There it goes. It's boiling. Reduce it to a simmer, let it cook for about 2 minutes, and you're ready to serve. And if you need to thicken it up more, just add a little more cornstarch and water. Mix it up, cold water, cornstarch, equal parts, stir it in, bring it to a boil, reduce to a simmer until it's as thick as you want. And that's it. That's all there is to making giblet gravy. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And if you have comments or your own tips or tricks, please feel free to share them. And as always, God bless.